Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are tackling something that I think most people, myself included, we assume is just art or
Mm,
maybe talent.
right.
You know that feeling when you hear someone speaking English so fluently, it's just effortless, and you think, wow, they just have a gift for languages.
That's the most common assumption out there. We treat fluency like it's some kind of magic or, a genetic lottery you either win or lose.
Exactly.
But the source material we're looking at today just completely flips that idea on its head. It's a fascinating breakdown called The Hidden Engineering of Spoken English.
Hidden engineering. I love that.
The title really says it all.
It sounds like we're about to take apart a car engine, not, talk about sentences and verbs.
That is exactly the metaphor.
Hmm.
The whole premise here is that spoken English isn't just about abstract grammar rules or how many words you know. It's a physical, mechanical system. It's engineering. And the source makes this really bold argument. If you don't get the mechanics, the phonetics, the actual physics of the sound, you can have perfect grammar, know all the words, and still not be fluent.
So you're saying the missing link between knowing the words and actually speaking fluently is physics.
Essentially, yes. It's muscle memory, it's acoustics, it's the geometry inside your mouth. And the source looks at this through the lens of Hindi speakers learning English, which gives us these amazing high contrast examples.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, these principles apply to almost anyone moving from a language that's, let's say, strictly phonetic to the beautiful chaos that is English.
Right, because when you see where the system breaks down, where the gears start to grind, that's when you finally understand how it's all supposed to run.
Exactly. We have 6 specific parts of this engineering to unpack.
And I should probably warn you, by the end of this deep dive, you are going to be weirdly hyper-aware of what your tongue and teeth are doing when you talk.
It turns language learning from this big mystery into a scientific skill. It's not about being smart. It's about calibration.
I like that. Calibration. Okay, so let's jump into the first malfunction, part 1, which the source calls the visual trap.
This is foundational. The document points out this huge fundamental difference between a language like Hindi and English.
Okay.
In Hindi, the rule is beautiful. It's simple. You speak it exactly as it is written. Every letter has a job.
As written, so read. That sounds incredibly logical.
It is logical. It's how an alphabet should work. But English, English is not logical.
Not at all.
It's like 3 languages in a trench coat.
Hmm.
The rule, as written, so read, just does not apply. And if your brain is wired to pronounce every single letter you see, English becomes a total minefield.
Your whole operating system is just outdated for the new software.
Precisely.
The source has a great example here that I think everyone will recognize instantly. The word school
Right. S-C-H-O-O-L.
looks simple on paper.
Okay, but look at it as a piece of engineering. It starts with an S sound, followed immediately by a K sound. School.
School.
But for a Hindi speaker, whose native logic says every character needs a sound, starting a word with a naked consonant cluster like esk feels physically wrong. It feels unstable.
Unstable? What do you mean? Like the mouth doesn't know how to grip it?
Exactly. The mouth wants a little ramp to get to that S sound. So the brain it unconsciously inserts a helper vowel.
A helper mouth.
So instead of school, the speaker says S school or is school.
Cool. I've heard that so many times. I always just thought it was a regional accent, that, a style choice.
But it's actually the brain trying to fix what it sees as a structural problem.
Wow.
The brain is basically saying, whoa, you can't just start with SK. That's illegal. Here, have an I to get you started. But that extra sound throws off the timing of the whole sentence.
And then there's the other side of that coin, right? The letters that are written down but shouldn't be there at all. The source brings up knife.
Ugh, knife. The classic villain. Why is that K even there?
I have no idea.
It's a historical relic. Hundreds of years ago, people actually said the K. But in modern engineering terms, it's a silent component. It's vestigial.
But if your operating system says pronounce everything,
You're going to try to force a sound out of it. You'll say K-knife, which of course immediately marks you as a non-native speaker.
So the big takeaway from this first part is you have to ignore your eyes. You have to stop trusting the spelling.
Yes. The engineering of English is auditory, not visual.
Hmm.
If you try to build the spoken word using the written blueprint, the whole structure just collapses.
Okay, so step 1, blindfold yourself, don't trust the text. Step 2, and our source gets even more physical, it talks about alien sounds.
Sounds that literally do not exist in the learner's home sound library. This is where we get into the TH dilemma.
Yeah, T.
The source highlights that the TH sound, in think or this, It just isn't in the Hindi sound library. It's
Mhm.
actually a pretty rare sound globally.
So it's not in the library. What does the brain do? It can't just play a blank file.
It finds the next best thing. It scans its database for the closest match and says, okay, I don't have the, but I have a T file and a D file. Those are close enough.
And so think becomes
Kink, and this becomes dis.
tink and dis. A substitution?
It is a substitution, yes, but here's the engineering fix the source gives. And it's not about listening harder. It's pure mechanics.
Okay.
The document explicitly says the tongue must be placed slightly between the teeth.
That feels so weird if you aren't used to it, like you're sticking your tongue out to speak.
It feels vulnerable. It can even feel rude in some cultures. But that is the mechanism. If your tongue is behind your teeth, tapping the roof of your mouth, you get a P or D.
But if it's between the teeth,
You create this narrow channel for air. The friction of that air is what creates the sound. The
Mhm.
source really emphasizes that these small things make a huge difference.
and there's a nuance here too, isn't there? Because think and this don't have the exact same clus sound.
I'm glad you caught that. That's the difference between unvoiced and voiced.
Explain that.
In think it's just air, a hiss. But in this, your vocal cords are actually buzzing. You should feel a vibration in your throat if you're doing it right.
So if I say dis, I'm blocking the air, but if I say this, I'm buzzing the air through that tongue sandwich.
That is a perfect description. It's a precise calibration. If the geometry is wrong, the sound is wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how confident you are, the acoustic signal itself is incorrect.
I love how actionable that is. It's not try to sound better, it's put your tongue here. It's like a gym instruction.
That is exactly what phonetics is. It's gymnastics for the mouth. Which leads us perfectly into part 3, the mechanics of the mouth. Specifically, the battle between V and W.
Oh, this is a big one. I think native speakers totally take for granted that these are two completely different sounds.
For many learners, they can seem interchangeable, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of languages, including Hindi, there's often just one sound that sits somewhere in the middle, kind of va sound.
So the words very and wet might be pronounced with the exact same mouth position.
Exactly. You end up blurring them. The listener then has to work extra hard to figure out, is the floor very slippery or is it wet slippery?
Okay, so the source breaks this down with what? Surgical precision?
It's all about contact points.
All right, walk us through it. Let's engineer the V.
For the letter V, like in very or victory, the instruction is simple. Top teeth must touch the bottom lip.
Labiodental. Lip to. Okay, I'm doing it now. Teeth on lip. V, 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 V.
You should feel a little tickle, a vibration. If your lip isn't vibrating against your teeth, you aren't quite doing it right. That's your feedback mechanism.
Okay, I feel the buzz. Now, how is W different?
For W, like in wet or window, the instruction's totally different. The teeth must not touch anything.
Oh.
The lips have to be rounded. They make a small, tight circle shape like you're about to blow out a candle. WWWWADAR.
Yeah, it comes from deeper in your throat. It almost feels like a vowel.
Exactly. V is friction. W is flow. The source points out that just adhering to these two mechanical positions, it changes the accent entirely. It clears up the signal.
It's amazing. We think of this as accent, but really it's just incorrect positioning. It's like trying to play a guitar chord with your fingers on the wrong frets.
That is a perfect analogy. The instrument is the same, but if the finger placement is off, the chord doesn't ring true.
So we have the visual trap, the alien sounds, the mouth mechanics. Now we move to something that feels a bit harder to teach.
Right.
Part 4, the musicality, stress and rhythm.
Right. This is where we move from the individual parts to the whole machine.
Yeah.
And the source makes this crucial point. English is a rhythmic language. It has a beat,
As opposed to what? Just a flat line?
as opposed to a syllable-timed language. In Hindi or Spanish or French, the tendency is to give equal pressure to every syllable. Da-da-da-da-da. It's steady.
Like a machine gun.
Yeah. But English is stress-timed. We don't speak in a straight line. We speak in waves. We kind of, we rev the engine and then we coast.
The source has that great sentence to test this out. I want to go to the market.
Exactly. Now, someone applying that equal pressure rule might say, I want to go to the Merrick. Every word gets the same punch.
It sounds, well, the source calls it robotic.
It does sound robotic because the English-speaking ear is tuned to listen for the peaks, not for the flat line. The native way, the engineered way, is to highlight the content words,
The important words.
the words that carry the meaning. So in that sentence, the important words are want and market.
So it becomes, I want to go to the market.
Yes. But here's the secret sauce. The words to go to the vey, don't just get quieter, they get crushed. They physically change shape.
Crush.
This introduces the most important sound in English, the schwa.
The schwa, the sound.
It's the sound of a vowel basically giving up. In fluent English, to doesn't sound like to, it sounds like ta.
I want to go to the market.
Exactly. The grammar words get compacted so that the meaning words can stand out.
That is so counterintuitive. We're taught in school to speak clearly, to enunciate every word.
I know.
But you're telling me that to speak clearly in English, you actually have to mumble some parts and shout others.
In a way, yes. Fluency in English requires you to just throw away half the sounds you see on the page. You have to de-emphasize the small words so the big words can pop. That's the music of the language.
That's wild. You have to destroy the grammar words to save the sentence. Which leads us straight into part 5, because when you start crushing those little words,
They start crashing into each other.
connected speech.
This is the phenomenon where words just do not stay separate. In a textbook, they have nice, neat spaces between them. In your mouth, they're all glued together.
The examples in the source are the classics. Want to becomes wanna.
Going to becomes gonna.
Did you becomes didja.
And this is what the source calls the textbook disconnect. You read, did you eat? Two distinct words. But if you actually say, did you eat, with the hard pause in the middle, it sounds stiff, formal, almost like you're angry.
The natural engineering of the mouth is just looking for the path of least resistance. Didja eat?
It's pure efficiency. But here's the most fascinating part of this for me. The source points out that this isn't some weird English thing. It compares it to Hindi.
Oh, really? Because I think a lot of people assume wanna and gonna are just, lazy English slang.
Not at all. It's a universal human trait. The source asks this question. In Hindi, do you say kaya? Two separate words. No.
No, you say kap.
It blends into kap.
You're right. We blend in our own languages constantly and we don't even think about it.
Exactly. But when we learn a new language, we stop.
Yeah.
We get scared. We want to be correct. So we separate every single word.
And ironically, by trying to be correct, we just end up sounding unnatural.
The source is telling us blending isn't lazy. Blending is fluent. It's how the engine is designed to run at high speed.
That's such a liberating idea that gonna isn't bad English. It's engineered English. It's flow.
Exactly. If the gears are grinding, word pause, you have no momentum. Blending is what provides the momentum.
Okay, so we've rebuilt the engine. We know about the silent letters, the tongue position, the rhythm, the blending. But there's one last piece, part 6.
And this one isn't about the mouth. It's about the mind.
The psychology of fear.
This is the critical why. Why are we so scared to speak? Why do we hesitate? The source argues the root cause isn't a fear of grammar. It's not that we're afraid of using the wrong tense.
And what is it?
It's a fear of pronunciation, a physical insecurity.
That makes so much sense. If you aren't sure if your tongue is supposed to be behind your teeth or between them for a word, you just freeze.
The source calls it a brain freeze. When the speaker doesn't trust themselves to produce the right sound, the brain just hits the emergency brake. It stops the whole speech process to avoid the embarrassment of making a mistake.
So the lack of confidence isn't because you're not smart enough or you don't know the language, it's because your muscles haven't been trained for it.
Correct. The confidence formula the source presents is actually very simple. Clarity leads to confidence. As soon as the sounds become clear, as soon as you know that for a V you bite your lip, the brain releases the brake.
It stops being a guessing game.
Think about learning to drive a car. When you first start, you're constantly staring at your feet, wondering how hard to press the pedal. You're jerky, you're anxious.
Right.
But once your muscles learn the pressure, you just drive. You don't think press pedal, you think go.
That's the goal here, to move from manual to automatic transmission.
Exactly. And that brings us to the conclusion of the source. It reframes the entire struggle. He says the problem isn't intelligence. The problem is simply a lack of sound training.
That's a huge relief, honestly. It takes all the pressure off. It means you're not bad at languages. You just haven't been shown the schematic for the engine yet.
And that's the final equation. Phonetics plus practice equals confidence. It's a scientific skill. It's not magic.
You don't need a gift.
You need to understand the position of your tongue, the flow of the air, and the rhythm of the stress.
It's hidden engineering.
It is hidden engineering. And once you see it, once you decode it, you can't unsee it. You start to hear the world completely differently.
So for everyone listening, here's what I want you to try. The next time you listen to a song or watch a movie or even just listen to us, stop listening to the words for a minute.
Yes, ignore the meaning.
Listen to the music. Listen for the S sounds. Listen for the teeth. Hear where the stress hits and where that schwa sound crushes all the little words. Try to see the engineering behind the facade.
And then ask yourself, what other skills in your life have you been treating as magic just because you haven't looked at the blueprints yet?
That's the question. Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.